I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. No doubt about it. Who would you have picked in your starting 11 for England for the World Cup squad? The likes of Cole Palmer will not be at the World Cup. Morgan Gibbs-White, a lot of players, Trent Alexander-Arnold. So it's a lot to say and it's a lot to look at in the coming days.
It's we have lot.
20 days until the start of the World Cup.
Of course, the English white fans are already in total meltdown now. They're saying almost 60-70% of the squad is made up of blacks. Now, today is the first time a Manchester City fan who has Mark Gay knows that Mark Gay is not an English man. But when he's playing for Man City, he's an Englishman. Now it's time to represent England. They know he's not an Englishman. So you see, and then they say no to racism. So what's that?
So
Bukayo Saka is now a Nigerian because he's playing for England. He's no longer an Englishman.
It's just for the badge.
So I've been baffled all over X almost throughout the day, and I've been wondering what is going on. And then it's not just England. They've been comparison with France. In fact, you look at that French team. You could only I don't think there are up to 5 players in that French team that have typical French origin. Of course. Even the white one, the ones that look white, have the white color. Ryan Cheki is not typically. He's from Africa. He has his ancestry, I think, to either Algeria or to Morocco. So you have people like that, and then it's been total meltdown. So when Barcola is playing for PSG, he's a Frenchman. When he's playing for England, France now, it's no longer a Frenchman. So now we know he's black.
So of course, these are the telling points. So of course, the curtains are coming to close on the 2025-2026 season in Europe. The English Premier League, the Italian Serie A, the German Bundesliga, and of course across Europe. Yes, we know that it's already wrapped up in most of these leagues. Manchester City not winning the Premier League, Arsenal taking the glory at the end of the day. Of course, it's been fights all season in the Italian Serie A, Inter Milan taking the glory. This is Sports Hangout. And of course, I'm not doing it alone. I'm here with a JJ. JJ, it's nice to have you again.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
And of course, a lot of talking points are going on from the club scene to the international scene. No doubt about it. We're seeing a lot of squad lists talking about countries releasing their teams for the upcoming World Cup. A lot of controversies here and there. And I was on X yesterday where I saw a particular pundit talking about one of the pundits at TalkSport, Ben Jacobs. He started reeling out about a list of players that were left out by Thomas Tuchel. And of course, for the Three Lions, remember in previous times, in the last edition of the Euros, in the last edition of the World Cup, we're hearing it's coming home, it's coming home. It has not come home since the 90s.
It has always been coming home for England. They always believe they are better than they are. So that's the problem they've got. I remember Sir Alex Ferguson mentioning one time that he would never coach England because they always felt they had more quality, top quality, more than what they really had. So it's always been coming home since only God knows it. When they always have high expectations going into any international tournament, but in the end, it's never come home.
Yeah, of course, it's a big one for England because a country of that magnitude and, of course, size and football following fans, they would have expected that they should be doing something more. Remember, in the last edition of the Euros, they faced Italy, and of course, they went out. Italy won that, and we saw the penalty misses by Bukayo Saka and co. So, I mean, looking down to things at this point in time, it's the end of the season, no doubt. Round 38 of the English Premier League will be going down this weekend. Tottenham are still fighting for relegation. West Ham United are still fighting for relegation. Tottenham will be facing Everton. And of course, West Ham United will be facing Leeds United. It's already wrapped up at the top. Of course, Arsenal winning the English Premier League title. But the bigger point is how it has gone down for Pep Guardiola in his final season at Manchester City. And more interestingly, I think at the start of next season, we would see a lot of managers merry-go-round. I think it will be a transfer window of managers, interestingly. And the Pep Guardiola boys, they are regrouping in the Premier League.
I think most managers have been... Pep Guardiola, he announced today that he's leaving Manchester City. And officially, he made his farewell to the players. And coincidentally, At the same time, the other half of Manchester United, they announced the signing of Michael Carrick as the head coach for the next 2 seasons. And yes, you've got Chelsea, who have confirmed Xabi Alonso. And it's very likely now, almost 95% that Enzo Maresca is going to replace Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. So it's a lot of managers merry-go-round, like you said. But and it's going to shape up for a new phase of managerial battle contest next season, because Mikel Arteta it seems to be heads above others now. So he's going to have some rivals. But it's left to be seen who can have the energy to match what Pep Guardiola did in England over the last 10 years.
Yeah, of course, it's a big booster for Arsenal, especially winning.
Yeah, they will think now they are the elephants at the top, and so they can always go and knock everyone off. But I think sometimes in football, you don't know what comes next. But as of now, I think it's only Arsenal that are established team, because you look at that team, they've got the first 11, they've got almost the second 11, and now Arsenal, they've got massive financial strength because of their performances over the last couple of seasons, and now they can just go out there and I think buy any player they want, and so they can afford to let players go while also shipping in players. So they're only going to grow stronger, but it depends on, can they grow hungrier?
Yeah, no doubt about it. We can put a little focus on Arsenal because aside from maybe beefing up the squad, I think maybe some names will be leaving, the likes of Donny Madueke with the numbers he had this season, the likes of Gabriel Martinelli with the numbers he had this season. Of course, Saka is the poster boy at Arsenal Football Club. Victor Gyökeres, of course, he was just signed recently. There's a little bit of mix, and it's something that people probably do not understand in the earlier days of Arteta. Remember the first season he came, 2019-2020 season, after Unai Emery left, they finished 8th. The second season, 5th.
And then the next 3 seasons,
second. And now they finally won the English Premier League at the expense of Pep Guardiola in his final days at City. So something really tells me that maybe next season we may just see the coming of Arteta again. Of course, the Xabi Alonso to Chelsea. It's a new team. It's going to be a new philosophy.
I think we need to look at England this season, the Premier League this season. One argument is that the league is so poor this season. Most big teams, they are poor. They were poor, and it does shape everything nicely for Arsenal to perform. And Manchester City, it's not their biggest squad. They're not at their strongest level. And so I'm imagining, what if we have a manager coming, like Manchester City, for instance, Enzo Maresca, and is able to get the financial power to get players in, and then the recruitment. The thing is, you look at Arsenal. Arsenal, they are very strong. They are so strong. I really think they have what it takes to win the Premier League again next season. Because one thing is, and that thing I've always maintained is, if Arsenal do manage to win it once, it could open a floodgate for others. Why? Because it takes the pressure off them. Now, they were living off the pressure of 22 years without the English trophy. And more importantly, 3 seasons bottling the league. So when it's mattered, and now it's all gone.
Of course.
The pressure is off them, so they've got to calm, and that was what it took Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson. 27 years, no trophy, and he won the first one, won the second one, and then before you know it, he started. He won three. He won it 3 in a row, 2 times when he was the manager. So 13 altogether. That's why I say it can open up a floodgate for us now, because mentally now they don't have to be under any stress to so they don't have a point to prove again now. The only thing they've got to prove is, can we become a serial winner, serial Premier League winner, and be among the top boys. You must understand that in England, I think they are the third. The third best. After Manchester United and Liverpool, they are the third best. They've won 14 league titles now. So it's only going to become relatively, I think, a floodgate for them going forward.
Of course, like JJ rightly said, floodgate for Arsenal at this point in time, because things are really shaping up for them. Because I think one thing people don't understand also is one of the impacts that made Arsenal what they are at this point in time, aside from the Arsene Wenger era. You look at Andrea Beta, the sporting director. It was quite influential in signing the
they've got the structure, and the structure still seems intact. It's so, and that's why I said since they've got the structure, since they've got the team balance, the squad balance, and the manager philosophy is driven it into them.
Yeah.
The only thing that can stop Arsenal winning this the league next season now is the hunger, the motivation. They can be, if they begin to behave like, yeah, we're the big boys, we've arrived, then things can shape up very quickly and they'll be brought down to a reality check. So I think that's what it is for them.
Of course, fine news for Arsenal at this point in time. They'll be hoping that next season will be another wonder season for them. In other news, before we go to the England, hula baloo at this point in time, we've seen the Saudi Pro League, how it went down the wire. Yesterday, I was on my phone trying to get the update. At the point where Al Hilal scored right there yesterday, because the matches went down tentatively, and Nasser was playing Denmark. It was goalless at that same time. Al Hilal were winning 1 goal to Al Fayyah. And of course, they ended up winning the game. But it was interesting because they were on same points. And for some leagues, they don't use goal difference if it comes down to if two clubs are on the same point. They use, in the Saudi Pro League, they use head-to-head. So at the end of the day, if Al Nassr had not won yesterday, if they had even drawn, it meant that Al Hilal won their first game against Al Nassr this season. They drew the second game. So it meant
they have better head-to-head record, which would have given them
the title, even with the goal, about 2 goal difference at that point in time. But Cristiano Ronaldo has done it again in another league. His first season at Al Nassr, he scored 2 goals. What a wonderful free kick that was.
129. He scored now 129 goals altogether for them.
Altogether for competitions. And now 971. Almost 1,000, equaling Pele's record, the controversial record.
I don't know about that. Yeah, it's been incredible, Ronaldo. And I think he's shown that when he sets out to achieve a goal, he can always achieve it. And yes, that's what he's done.
Of course.
So now he's won it in England, Spain, Italy, and now he's gone to Saudi Arabia and won the league. So it's an incredible player. But when you look at the number of leagues he's won, in the number of years he's played, the ratio is so poor. That's 8 league titles. And it's been playing since 18 at Manchester United. So that's over 23 years. 23 seasons, 8 league titles. And you can't blame him because he went to Real Madrid at a time where Barcelona were highly imperious. They were so good. They were winning almost everything under Pep Guardiola, Luis Enrique. So that's, if he had come in a different era, he might have won more now.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's done well. It's done well across the
fantastic one for Cristiano Ronaldo. I think at this point in time, the biggest news flying around has to be the England national team news and Tuchel. Do you see England going far in the World Cup?
Absolutely not. That selection is absolute shambles. It's absolute shambles. No, I woke up to the news and I was thinking, what was on Tuchel's mind? Yeah, because you look at a player like Jess Spence, for instance. Jess Spence is coming. There's this guy so much like in the Premier League, Luis for Newcastle United. O has been like, if it's not the best left back, it's been like the second left back, apart from maybe Marco Corella. And it's not getting a place there. Well, now we've got Dan Burn, for goodness sake, who takes a slot. It's like you want to catch a Ferrari with a 1994 Mercedes, not even Mercedes-Benz. Toyota Datsun, 1960 Datsun. It's not possible. So now I'm looking at a possibility where Spain comes up against England, for instance, and then you go put Dan Burn left back, who is going to,
with the tactical setup,
and who is going to be his opponent? Lamine Yamal.
I mean,
in the first 15 minutes, Burn should be off the pitch because he will not be able to see anything. That boy will, that Yamal. So then you chose Jess Spence, and then what was your reason for Jess Spence? He said, yes, Jess Spence, he has suffered through 3 managerial changes this season. Look, I was like, wow.
Does that even make sense?
Suffer through 3 managerial changes. So it's a reason for you to pick a player. And then you've got Eric Konsa above John Stones, who hasn't played. He hasn't played more than 10 games since October.
Over Harry Maguire.
And you said, okay, only players that played through the autumn are going to go.
Well, for Tuchel at this point in time,
I just kept quiet.
we wish England the best at this point. We would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. No doubt about it. Who would you have picked in your starting 11 for England for the World Cup squad? The likes of Cole Palmer will not be at the World Cup. Morgan Gibbs-White, a lot of players. Trent Alexander-Arnold. So it's a lot to say and it's a lot to look at in the coming days.
It's
we
a
have
lot. It's
20 days until the start of the World Cup. Of course,
the English white fans are already in total meltdown now. They're saying almost 60-70% of the squad is made up of blacks. Now, today is the first time a Manchester City fan who has Mark Gay knows that Mark Gay is not an Englishman. But when he's playing for Man City, he's an Englishman. Now it's time to represent England. They know he's not an Englishman. So you see, and then they say no to racism. So what's that? So Bukayo Saka is now a Nigerian because he's playing for England. He's no longer an Englishman.
It's just for the badge.
So I've been baffled all over X almost throughout the day, and I've been wondering what is going on. And then it's not just England. They've been comparison with France.
Yeah.
In fact, you look at that French team, you could only I don't think there are up to 5 players in that French team that have typical French origin.
Of course.
Even the white one, the ones that look white, have the white color. Ryan Cherki is not typically. He's from Africa.
Yeah.
He has his ancestry, I think, to either Algeria or to Morocco. So you have people like that, and then it's been total meltdown. So when Barcola is playing for PSG, he's a Frenchman. When he's playing for England, France now, it's no longer a Frenchman. So now we know he's black.
So of course, these are the telling points. So of course, remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is a football hangout, and it has always been a nice time with JJ. See you next time.
Until next time, don't forget to turn on the notification bell as well, so you can get updates as we drop more content.